Hello everyone, my name is Saartje Lanstraat. I'm Miss Earth the Netherlands and this is my interview with the Pageant project.
Good morning to all our Dutch viewers. It's evening, as I've discussed with Saartje over here in Australia. My special guest for today is Saartje Lanstraat, who is Miss Earth Netherlands 2021. Saartje, welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
You are my first Dutch interviewee.
Really?
Yes, I was in the press conference for Miss Earth last year when your predecessor, Tessa, she was on, but I didn't get to ask her a question. So I'm counting you as the first Dutch interviewee. How do I say hello in Dutch? What's a Dutch greeting?
It's actually really easy. It's just hello. So it's Dutch and English, they're not much alike, but that one word is almost the same. So just say hello.
Okay.
Or if you want to say,
how are you?
Hoe gaat het?
Oh, I can't.
We have a really strong G, like it's that you basically use it in every word. Hoe gaat het? I'd like to see you try.
If I did that, I'd end up spitting everywhere. I don't think anyone wants this. I don't think anybody wants to see that. But Saartje, I have to start by your dress, the color. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Now, I've been doing my little bit of research, and I know that you're very much an advocate of sustainable fashion.
True.
So why don't we start with that? In fact, I'll bring up your Instagram reel in a second, the one that showed you actually sewing. But did you want to tell people, let's start with the easy question. How did you get involved in pageantry to begin with? Let's start there.
Well, I guess it's safe to say I'm a pageant newbie. So I started back in 2020 for my regional pageant, which finally led to Miss Earth the Netherlands. I got a message from Miss Teen of Zuid-Holland from 2019. And Zuid-Holland is the province that I live in. And after you win the province, you go to the national contest. Mm-hmm. And she sent me a message basically saying, this really suits you and maybe you would like to join. And I thought, why not? I still have a dress in my closet. And that was the first thought I had. Oh, I finally get to wear the dress. And basically after that, it just got so, it just really matches me. And I learned so much from it. And my family, everyone's been so supportive. And they said, this is like, you were born for this. This is something so you. So it's just, everything came so naturally.
I watched your the interview you were on with Marissa, who's the Miss Earth USA, and I'll be interviewing Marissa next week, and I know her, and two of the other ladies. And I have to say, I never would have guessed that you were a pageant newbie. Never.
Never?
No. I mean, I'm going to ask a silly question probably, but in the Netherlands, English is not the first language, is it? It's Dutch.
That's true. Yeah, it's Dutch. So not many people speak English that well, but I had international schooling. So to me, it came really easy. And I guess that it's always been of good use to me to speak English that well.
It's going to be very useful for your pageant career, more so than Dutch, unfortunately. Yes. But you seem to speak very well. You seem to be very at ease. You didn't seem to be nervous at all. So you really did seem to, like, as I said, I would never have guessed you were a newbie. When your family and friends say you were born to do this, what do they mean? Is it the advocacy? Is it that you love to talk? Is it that you love being on stage? You love fashion? Like, which parts are we talking about?
I think it's all of the parts you just mentioned, but most of it is just I love people. I love being in contact with people. And my mother used to say to me that I have this thing where I can help people reach their highest selves. I really love to bring the best out of other people, and to be a pageant queen, like that's what they do. They take care of their surroundings. They take care of the people around them. So that's what I meant when I said I was born for this.
And what part have you enjoyed the most so far?
Oh, gosh, there's so many parts. The thing about like the live, like being on stage, I love the walking. It gives me so much energy. Especially, I don't know if have you seen the national competition of the Netherlands?
I didn't see the national. I saw photos. I saw your crowning photos.
Well, I love the walking, especially the bikini round. It gave me so much energy and adrenaline, and I would love to relive that moment again. But that's like one of the parts that I really like. And right now, I just love that I get to spread my message even more because my audience grew because of this, and I'm so happy for that.
Have any parts surprised you? I mean, you said you're a pageant newbie. It's slightly unusual because your Miss Earth is going virtual again this year. So it's not the typical pageant experience. But having said that, have there been any parts that have surprised you?
I think it's oh, sorry. My voice. No, it's getting really cold in the Netherlands, and there's like this common cold we always have during this time of year. So my voice, yes. But I think the thing that surprised me most was the supportiveness. Not only international, because like every queen we've had conversations through Instagram, because it's not in real life. But also during the national competition, there's so much support, and I thought there would be so much more, I don't know,
not so much support.
I thought there would be not so much support, but everyone's been so supportive and so sweet, and I've never had such a warm welcome, and I just love that they are all so nice, and everyone truly wishes for everyone to be at their best, and yeah, that's so beautiful to me.
Yep, there are a lot of people who enter pageants for the first time and are surprised by the fact the other girls, for the most part anyway, are super, super nice. Now, as I said, I'm going to bring up your Instagram reel. So I'll just show this to everyone, this one of you here in the blue dress. And then after we watch through it, then you can talk us through it a little bit as well. But let's have a look first.
Let me be your woman, 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 woman. I can be your woman, 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 woman. Let me be your woman, 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 woman. I can be your woman, 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 woman. What you need, she give tenfold. Come here, Papa, plant your seed. She can go right from her womb, family.
You definitely know how to sew.
So yes, I do.
Do you want to tell us a little bit behind a little bit of the story? Oh, give me a second. Okay.
Well, I started sewing when I was. Oh yeah, I started sewing when I was about 10 years old. So I've my mother, she taught me. She used to sew all my clothes for me when I was young, and it gave me such a creative freedom because I got to say, well, I want this and I want this, and she just made it for me. So there were no limits to my closet. Like I could say anything and she would make it for me. And when I was about 10 years old, I wanted to try some myself. And it was hard. I mean, sewing, it's not the most easiest thing to do. It's like mathematics, but but with your hands. And it's such a good outlet for your creativity. Oh, Siri says hi. It's such a good outlet for your creativity. And I got to make so much myself. And now I finally got to turn it into a little business, and I got to mix it with my advocacy because I use sustainable fabrics or dead stock fabrics. Dead stock fabrics are fabrics that are used by brands, and then they end up having a little bit of leftovers. And we don't want to let those leftovers go to waste. So you can order those and you can make something of it. So that's what I usually do. And I made this dress with a bamboo fabric, which is a really sustainable fabric because it lasts you a long time. So it's really firm, and I just love the color, and I was so happy with the result. And yeah, that's my dress for the talents.
How long roughly does it take from I don't sew? I've never made anything. How long roughly does it take from beginning when you have the idea and you first start getting the fabrics and cutting, from beginning to end? How long are we talking?
It depends. I sometimes, like when I start sewing, there's this switch that goes on in my mind where I suddenly turn like slightly manic and I can't stop before I finish. And so when I start sewing, I just sit behind that sewing machine, like, okay, I want this done. I want to see it. I want to put it on. And if it goes like that, I'll be done with this dress within like a few hours. But
a few hours.
Yeah.
Is that normal? I thought it was going to be a few days at least, not a few hours.
Yeah. Well, for this dress, that's fast, but it's okay. It's doable. But usually a few days, it's healthy. So the hardest thing about sewing something is making the pattern, because the pattern is what's going to make it successful or not. So I really want to take my time and make sure the pattern is okay. And then I also get to use it for other products that I make. I have this mannequin that I can adjust to size. So I really will just be putting that pattern on the mannequin on and like cutting and cutting until it's perfect. And that's, I think, I think that part takes up the most time. You'll be doing that for sometimes a day.
Yeah. I actually know a little bit about that because one of my friends, she was a maker. So I know that as a dressmaker's mannequin, and I know what you're talking about in terms of you can change the size of it. But she would always, I'm curious about this. I don't know if you do the same way. She would always sketch her patterns out on cardboard first with protractors and rulers and things like that you've never used in school. And then she would cut. For this dress here, though, it's not symmetrical, right? It's not both halves are the same. So you've got one over the shoulder, one under the shoulder, and then you also have a cutout here. So in terms of making the pattern, doesn't that make it a lot more difficult? Just the fact that it's not symmetrical?
Yes, it does. And this was kind of a guess because I really couldn't tell with the pattern paper what it's going to be like, because the dress itself, it's really stretchy. So it was kind of a guess if it would turn out right. But yeah, I just cut through it, and the pattern, it was symmetrical at first, but then I just cut it out of the fabric and I was like, okay, well, you know what? And it's gone. One part. So that's the whole. It's also a bit of freestyling to me. That's not always the good thing to do, but in this way, it turned out really well.
So you've mentioned that you're turning this into your own small business. What are you looking to do with a small business? Are you looking to grow it? I mean, I know a lot of pageant girls would love to have their own unique gown or national costume. So is it for you going to be just a hobby, or are you actually looking to grow it and maybe make your business like a full-time career?
Yes, I really am looking to grow it. Right now, I just have a business of tops and dresses and custom clothing. It's all really inspired by my days as a ballet dancer. So every bit of clothing, it's really comfortable, it's timeless, it's chic, it has the sustainable fabrics, and you can move around in it. that's what I thought was most important because that's what I like to wear on a daily basis. But right now, because I also study and I also am Miss Earth of the Netherlands, I take things on a really low pace because I don't want to do everything at once, but I really, really, really want to expand this and spread my message for sustainable fashion as well.
So I think it's better to do a couple of things and do them well than trying to do everything at once and not doing any of them well.
Yes, exactly.
Let's dig into the advocacy. So how did you come to be so passionate about sustainable fashion?
Like I said, it started when I was younger. My mother used to sew all my clothing, and I really got to have that creative space to say, I want this and I want this. So when I got older, I really started to explore my fashion sense. And I've always been really outgoing in my style. So fast fashion wasn't really it for me because it was just too plain, too basic. And I started looking for vintage clothes because vintage fashion, it's so unique and extensive. So I went there and basically I bought all my clothes there, or I sewed them myself with my mom. And only later I found out how important it is for us to really be conscious about our buying behaviors because it really affects the economy and how they again will give us this fast fashion. So that's how it started. And during my journey towards Miss Earth of the Netherlands, I learned more and more about it. And that's when I started to come up with my business, my little business of sustainable fashion. Right. And during this journey, I've eventually got to 5 tips that would help anyone to get a sustainable closet. So my first tip would be look for sustainable fabrics. Don't go for like the plastic fabrics because those will not last you a long time. Look for fabrics like cotton or linen because those will really last a long time. Second, try to buy vintage fashion. I know it's really hard for people because once you go into one of those stores, you don't know where to look. And that's why I'm here because that's why I'm here. I have tips about how to approach this and to look in a vintage store for the right thing. Third, look for timeless products. Most products are made on trend and you can only wear them for a few months and then they go out of style and they'll just hang in your closet forever. And we don't want that. So try to look for things that you can wear on a really long basis. Fourth, clothes are meant to fit you, not the other way around. So if you buy something and it doesn't fit all the way, don't go looking for another pair of those jeans that will not fit you in the same way. Just go to a tailor and let them be tailored to your body because every body is different and we cannot expect clothes to fit perfectly every time. So that's a really important aspect that I really want people to know. And fifth, try to look for sustainable brands because they are out there. They might not be as known as the big brands, but they're really good and they have really good quality clothes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean about tailoring. I don't know about you, but clothes off the rack rarely fit me properly. I have a weird body type, very tall. I played tennis, so my legs are quite big, so nothing ever fits. So your tip about tailoring is well taken. I have to ask you about fashion hauls, right? I'm sure you've seen it on Instagram, and it's this thing where girls, and the thing is, it gets a lot of views, and people will get, for example, a Shein haul or whatever haul, and it's all these clothes, and most of the time they're bought because they're on sale. And sometimes big brands like that say they're ethical or sustainable, and then there's the greenwashing problem, right, where they say they're sustainable, and then you look at it and they're really not. They're just saying it. How do you feel about fashion halls? Because I have to say, when I looked into it a little bit more and found out how bad some of these brands are, when I see fashion halls now, I actually get slightly angry. I feel like saying, stop doing that. But how do you feel about fashion halls?
Well, you really just hit the spot. That's exactly how I feel, and I have a really outspoken opinion on this. Fashion halls, like when you buy such a big amount of clothes, um, I don't think you're really promoting to be stylish. I think you're more promoting to consumerism, because what I think is stylish is if you buy the one product or maybe two products that you can style in so many ways and look really good in it. But if you buy so many products, it's not really about the clothes anymore. It's more
It's the
about
buying.
it's the buying.
You're
It's
right.
about the it's about the consumer culture. Yeah, but that's what the brands really want. They want people to buy a lot of it. And so that's why they maybe promote those huge fashion hauls. But it's such a waste of clothing, because you'll know that they'll never wear all of those. And sometimes if people send clothes back, you know that's most fast fashion brands. If so, clothes get sent back, the clothes are burned.
Yeah.
Did you know that? It's just it's such a waste of clothes.
I didn't know they would be burnt, but I figured they would be thrown out, because it would be more expensive for them to clean them and then put them back on the rack than it would be just to throw them away, because those clothes tend to be, they're cheap, they're on sale, so they're not made of the sort of fabric, like not cotton. They're normally made of polyester or other weird fabrics that I'm sure when you burn them just smell horrible and probably are toxic. But is there any way, I mean, you talked about timeless, and I love the idea of going to a vintage shop and finding something that's just timeless. And for myself, the closest example I can think of is I play the violin. I played the violin since I was 2.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
I was looking at getting a new violin, and I went to the local shop and they let me try a violin that was 200 years old. 200 years old. Like, you look inside and you can see the date, and you play it and you just feel different, because you just start thinking, like, how many different people have played on this violin? So I thought of that violin as just being timeless. When it comes to fashion, how do you go about finding something that is kind of like that, something that is timeless? How do you find something timeless versus something you can only wear once and then you're not going to wear it for the rest of your life?
Oh, that's really difficult. But I think the key is to look for something that really you like. We all tend to go with the trend and think that we like that, but really look inside yourself and think, okay, what do I really like? Because that's what you're gonna wear for the rest of your life. So if you're looking for timeless, look for you. Look for what you are and what will fit you, because that's your timeless. Everyone's timeless is different. So I think that's really the key here.
Let's have a look at another reel. There was another reel that I wanted to have a look at. How's your voice going?
My voice is going okay. No, it's actually better. I was kind of scared that before this interview, my voice wasn't going to get any better, because yesterday and the day before that, it was horrible.
Dear. You don't want to be sick at the moment with COVID, because if you're sick, everyone thinks you've got COVID. So you really you don't want to be sick at all.
But it's just cold Netherlands.
Oh, dear me. Okay, so this one is, do you want to talk us through this video here?
Yes, so this is Go Vintage Shopping with me, and I tell a little bit about vintage stores. And here, that's a really fun tip. If you want jeans to fit you, they fit exactly around your neck. So that's a good tip next time you go into a vintage store.
What? Because I have a lot of difficulty finding jeans. So when you say fit around your neck, what do you mean by fit around your neck?
If the top of the jeans, so where your waist is, if that fits around your neck, it's supposed to fit you really well. And usually in vintage stores, they don't really put sizes on the clothes, so you really just
Yeah.
have to figure it out yourself. And this really was a time saver for me. So if you'd like to try it, try it. I hope it works for you. And what else do we see? I talk about the damages of fast fashion and how sustainable vintage clothing is. What else did I talk about?
Well, it says here you
Yes.
started going to thrift shops when you were 12 years old. So for you, I mean,
Yes.
this is not something you're doing just for the pageant. This is something you've been
No.
doing for a long time.
Yeah, it's really my passion. And the thing about vintage stores is that you never know what you're gonna get. It's like a treasure hunt. And I really love that. Regular shopping is just, to me, it's kind of boring because you go in there and you already know what you're gonna get. And here you'll never know. You might be looking for a pair of jeans, but you never know what brand, or you never know what color. You just know you're gonna go for a pair of jeans. And if you find something like the thrill, it's amazing. I always have like those really big eyes, and they look like, Mom, oh my God, look, I got this. And it's just such a treasure hunt, and I love that.
Do you have any, I don't know if this is possible, but do you have any like favorite pieces that you've ever found? Let's say in a vintage shop. Are there any things that you found that you just are going to treasure for the rest of your life?
Yes, yes. There is this coat that I have. It's really beautiful. It's embroidered with gold, and it makes me feel like an empress. So that's something I will cherish forever. And I also got this thing, long blouse, maybe I should call it. This is also a vintage find, and it's just so regal, and I love the color. And I've been wearing this nonstop. So those are the two things that are coming up in my mind right now. But there's so many good vintage finds that I have had over the years because I started when I was 12. So, but these are my current favorites.
It sounds like you could teach people how to do this and actually
Yes.
pick up clothing that they really like and they're going to be able to wear for the rest of their lives. This piece that you're wearing now, do you have any idea how old it is? Because the color is amazing.
Thank you. I have no idea how old it is. That's also the other part that's surprising, because sometimes you walk out of the vintage store not knowing what you're having in your hands. I think it could be, I think maybe from the 80s. I don't know.
It's twice as old as you are.
It's twice as old as me. But I have older clothes. I have this jacket that's from the Navy. It's a sailor's jacket from 1920. Yeah, that's
100
also
years
a good
old.
vintage find. Yes, it's 100 years old, and every time I wear it, it just feels so weird to wear that. You're wearing a piece of history, and it's so that's, to me, that's so beautiful. And then there's me putting my iPhone in the pocket, and I don't know, I just it just feels so weird to do that.
Yeah, it's probably a similar feeling to what I had when I was playing that old violin. It just feels magical in a way that you can't really describe, and you just start
Exactly.
thinking about the story, the story of that jacket or the story of that violin, because it's probably seen more than you or I have, over the last 100 or 200 years. But
Yes.
the reason I bring up the color is because let's say it is 20, 30, 40 years old, most fast fashion, and I know this because I've had some cheap clothes in the past, especially for tennis, you wear them for a year and the color just decays terribly. Like it used to look amazing. Within a year, it's just gray and looks horrible. But this, even with a webcam, it's maintained its color really, really well.
Yeah, and I can tell you in real life it looks even better, the color. But really, for fast fashion, the color, it's almost as if they are designed to wear off after a certain period, which I think it actually is, because there are those little tricks in the fast fashion industry.
Then you have
Yes.
to go and buy more, right? So
Yes,
it would make
yes.
sense.
Yes, exactly. But what I would also advise is just really take good care of your clothes. If you're gonna buy fast fashion, make sure that it'll last you. and you will not disregard it. But yeah, sadly, there are a lot of fabrics and also painted in a really bad way. Like the damage the textile industry does to nature, it's bizarre. And the fabric painting, that's like one of the biggest evils in that industry. So and then to wear off in a year, that's such a waste.
If there's someone watching this and they're a young girl and they love their fashion hauls, but most young women also do want to be environmentally conscious. Most young people, they do. So on one hand, they've got, I want to save the environment. On the other hand, they love their fashion hauls. And I'd like to think they'd make more environmentally conscious choices, but they're worried it's going to cost more. They're worried that they can't get their favorite celebrity what they wore because, you know, they've maybe started a fast fashion label. So with all that sort of, oh, I want to, but I can't, or I want to, but it's too expensive. Is there any words of wisdom you could give to someone like that who does want to make a more environmentally and more people conscious choice? Because a lot of those brands also don't pay their employees what they're worth.
True.
What piece of advice would you have for someone who wants to make a better choice, but just needs a little bit of encouragement?
I'd say look at clothing as an investment. I know sustainable clothing sometimes is expensive, but the wear that you get out of it, that might be like one sustainable shirt might be 5 fast fashion shirts when you look at the wear and how many times you're going to wear it, so how you're going to love it. So if you buy something sustainable, it's an investment because it'll last you way longer and eventually it'll be cheaper if you look at it like that. And as to the persons you look up to, they probably don't wear fast fashion in real life. The fast fashion hauls, they'll just show you, and after that they'll put on their designer clothing or their own favorite clothing. And so really try to see through that, and probably on camera they'll adjust some parts, they put some clips in the clothes so that it fits really well. So it's not really representative of the truth. And try to see through that and try to remain with yourself and what you like and not what someone else likes, because that's, I think, the most important, because that's what's going to give you that timeless look if you buy clothes that suit you, not the other person.
100%. Okay, so you're in the middle of Miss Earth. The competition has begun, is about to begin with you guys, with everything you need to film. It's definitely begun.
Yes.
How has everything been over the last, I don't know, month or so? Because I can only imagine it's been manic. The stories that I've heard from the other Miss Earths, what they're doing and the footage they're having to film, the photo shoots, all of that, it's been very, very busy. So how has your life been over the last couple of months or so?
Well, let's first look back at last year, because that was when I was at home. I'm a student, so I was just sitting behind my computer, and I was starting to lose. Let's say I was starting to lose my spark. I needed something in life to really enjoy, because I enjoy being around people and working on concepts together. So I was really not in a good place. And then this whole pageant story started, and I've never felt more alive, let's say. So these hectic months where I have to do all these shoots and do all this filming, to me, that's so fun. And I've enjoyed every second of it because I needed this so much. So it of course is hectic, and I've been everywhere in the Netherlands filming this, filming that, but it's just so much fun. And I'm enjoying every second of it. So to me, I don't even feel tired or exhausted, because it's just so fun.
How was lockdown for you? I don't know what lockdown was like in the Netherlands, or COVID was like in the Netherlands. Did you struggle to get through it? I mean, you said you lost your spark. Were you struggling with COVID, or was lockdown okay for you?
The thing is, because I study international, my friends are all from foreign countries. So when lockdown started, most of them went back to their own country. And so I was
Yeah.
at home and I really didn't have much contact with people. And it just really made me sad. And
Hmm.
I really had to um, regain what I like, and I really had to learn myself, teach myself how I can do fun stuff, and in a different life, because you have a different
Yeah.
life when you're at home and you do
Yeah.
everything from home. So I really had to teach myself, okay, today we're going to do this, and we're going to go outside, and we're going to do a walk, and we're going to do something fun. So eventually I regained myself, and
Yeah.
um, I became a more grown person because of it. It really taught me so much about myself, and I really had to go through that. We all had to.
Yeah.
If you go in quarantine, it's like you're put under a loop. So everything that
Yeah.
is going on inside your
Yeah.
mind, it's somehow magnified. So we all have these little things already in there, but because of COVID, we got an opportunity to learn from it and to grow from it. And I really did in the most beautiful way. So right now, I look back to it and I think it was tough, of course, for everyone, because
Mm.
it was such a difficult time. It was scary because of the sickness, but it was also scary because we were at home and we were alone. But I learned to be alone, and I think I'm really proud of that.
It sounds like, I mean, COVID was horrible, but it sounds like you learned a lot of important lessons during it.
Yes, yes, I did.
Okay, I need to ask you about the Netherlands because, as I said,
Mhm.
you are my first Dutch interviewee, and all I have is stereotypes in my head. So I need to ask you about them, and you need to tell me whether they're true or not. All right,
Yes.
so the first three that come up in my mind: bikes, number one, bikes, number two, windmills, and number three, tulips. So 1, 2, 3. So let's start with bikes. Bikes, yes or no?
Okay.
Does everyone really ride bikes everywhere?
Everyone rides bikes. Everyone. That's like that stereotype is 100% true. Everyone rides bikes. We even I started riding a bike when I was like 4 years old. I biked everywhere, to school, to the grocery store, everything. And the thing is, we even have special paths in the next
Yep.
to the road for bikes, and everything
Yeah.
is really adapted. All our infrastructure is adapted to bikes. It's so funny. Um, and to me, it's so natural. Like if people from foreign countries talk to me like, "Oh, you ride bikes?" I'm like, "Yes,
Mm.
of course. Don't you?" It's so weird that other people don't. But no, I really like it. It clears my mind. It's a good workout, and no matter the weather, everyone here will ride bikes. I mean, if you know the Netherlands, you know that it's gonna be raining most times of the year. It's gonna be cold, and everyone's still outside riding bikes.
I don't know. As someone from Australia, I don't know how much fun that sounds like. In Australia, we certainly don't bike that much. But what happens here is that on the weekends, like on Saturday or Sunday, you'll see a lot of these people come out and start cycling, like for exercise. But I need to ask, in the Netherlands, here in Australia, when they bike, they wear, talking about fast fashion, they wear all this horrible, I don't know if you know, lycra, but like
Yeah.
skin tight bike shorts in horrible colors, and you see like it's just way too tight, and you see things you don't want to see. Also, most of them, their legs are gigantic because they bike everywhere. So is that in the Netherlands as well? Like horrible lycra shorts, bike shorts, and like everyone's got really big legs because you bike everywhere.
Well, the thing is, in most countries, people bike for sport. We bike for transport. So if we bike, we just wear regular clothes. We just use the bike to get somewhere. So I will just be in this outfit and bike to I don't know, to town. So we don't really have those biking uniforms, thankfully.
Okay, good. That's definitely a good thing. Let's say when you ride your bike to the store, do you lock it up somewhere? Do you park it somewhere? How does that work?
Oh yes, yes, we have these special parking spaces everywhere in town for bikes. And so you have a lock or you use like one of those chains and you adjust it to the little uh, poles they have there for the
Yep.
bike. So you can park your bike basically everywhere.
Okay. All right. If I was to visit the Netherlands, am I able to
Mhm.
hire a bike or do I have to buy my own?
You can hire a bike, especially in most cities. There's always an opportunity to hire a bike. That there's so many companies doing it, so you have plenty of choice.
Okay. That sounds like a very healthy holiday then. I won't drive
Yeah,
anywhere. I'll just be biking everywhere.
exactly.
Okay. Stereotype number 2, windmills. Is that a stereotype or is it true you are the land of windmills?
It's actually true. It's those windmills you usually see on pictures. We still have them, but they're not really used anymore. They're just here
Yeah.
in the country to look at. But we also
Yeah.
have more technological windmills, and they're everywhere. They're huge, and they're those really big, wide windmills
Yeah.
that are kind of scary when you look above. You kind of feel so small when you look at it. But
Yeah.
there's
You don't want it to
that's
fall on you.
no, exactly. That's how I always feel. But they're real and they're here.
Okay. Final stereotype. I don't know if this is true or not. Tulips. Is
Tulips.
the Netherlands full of tulips?
Okay, so we have tulips, but we do have many other fields with different plants. Tulips, they are the flower of our country, so you'll definitely find them here and in stores. But especially because I live in the suburbs, and around me there's a lot of there are a lot of fields with flowers or other plants, so I get to see not only tulips but other plants as well. So to me that stereotype is not really true, but it's still you can still find it everywhere.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
kind of true, but not really.
kind of.
Okay.
Yes,
But
and
bikes
most
and
tourists.
bikes and
So,
windmills, definitely. So
yeah,
bikes and
yeah,
windmills, definitely true. Windmills,
definitely.
tulips, kind of, maybe. The other thing I wanted to ask you is because I watched your Miss Earth live and you talked about your sweet tooth. Dutch
Yeah,
food. And I think you were talking
that's
about
true.
pancakes. So what are the Dutch foods that you wouldn't get anywhere else?
Okay, so talking about sweets, you wouldn't get a stroopwafel anywhere else,
A what?
which is a stroopwafel. I'd actually like
Okay.
to try to pronounce it. Try to a
What did you say?
stroopwafel.
Stroopwafel? Are you
Stroopwafel.
saying
Yeah,
stroop waffle? Like as
yeah.
in a waffle?
Basically, waffle.
Stroopwafel. Okay. Waffle. Yes. Okay.
Okay,
My
so
Dutch.
a stroopwafel, it's basically a really thin waffle that's more hard, so more like a cookie. And in between
Oh, yep.
we have a sort of a caramel sauce, and
I've had these.
it's best when eaten warm. Um,
I've
and
had
I
these
usually
before.
you've had those? Okay,
I
great.
have, yes. I know exactly
They're
what you're
good,
talking
right?
about, and they're not healthy for you, but they are
No,
really, really good.
they're really good. Yes, and I usually get them at my local market because they have them fresh, and they have
Yeah.
them really big, so you have like this big of a cookie.
Ours were only this big. Like,
Yes, you have the smaller size, and on the
yeah.
markets, on the fairs, you get the really big ones, and those are just heaven. They're so bad for you, but they're so good. It's soul food, and it's soul food for me. It's good for my soul.
Now I know why
That's
you guys have to bike everywhere. If you didn't bike everywhere, you wouldn't be working off your stroopwafels.
Yes, exactly. And what else do we have? I think because winter and fall is starting here, we have oliebollen. I don't know if you've heard of those.
No, I don't think so.
They're usually around this time. That's when the little markets start with oliebollen, and it's just fried dough balls with powdered sugar.
Like donuts. Sounds like donuts.
Kind of like donuts. Kind of like donuts.
Okay.
So we eat those during New Year, during Christmas. It's a really Dutch thing, but maybe they're kind of like donuts. So other countries have it as well, kind of, but not
But
the
it's
same.
not the same.
No.
Yeah, I knew where that was going to go. Just out of interest, are there any Dutch foods that are healthy? Or, I mean, they all sound delicious, but very unhealthy. Are there any healthy Dutch foods?
Yes, there are. If we're not looking at sweet stuff, I think like a typical Dutch dish is boerenkool, and it's just, have you heard of that? It's just potatoes and some sort of Dutch lettuce, kind of like a cabbage, and they just put it all in one, and it's lovely during winter months. It's not really that flavory, but you eat it with mustard and a sausage. Um,
Okay.
it's just really good. It feels like home when I eat it. When I get home from a long day, that's the best thing.
Okay, so if you were to die tomorrow and you had one last meal, what would your meal be? What's your favorite last meal on Earth?
Well, boerenkool isn't my favorite. I'm more of I really like foreign foods. So maybe my last meal would be a good bowl of noodle soup. Probably Korean. I really like Korean.
I did not expect that answer. I had ramen today. So.
Yes, I love that. I make it myself. I also try to make kimchi myself, but that's really hard, and I haven't really
I had
gotten
kimchi
to
ramen
the.
today. The ramen I
Oh,
had was
really?
kimchi ramen. Yeah.
It's so good. I love the flavors of it. But I think that would be the last thing I eat. But as a dessert, I would definitely eat a stroopwafel for sure.
All right, you're doing your patriotic duty. If you like kimchi,
Yes.
you must be okay with spicy food then.
True. I love spicy food. I feel like it almost makes the whole meal elevate itself. So every flavor is heightened by the spice somehow. But it's mostly because of my dad. He is a cook, and he has um, had cooking lessons in Thailand, and so he's really good. He almost makes he makes so much Thai food. So that's really where it went wrong. I'm not.
Wrong.
You're wrong or right. It's more the way you see it, but that's when I started to eat spicy food.
Your mum could make you any dress you want. Your
Yes.
dad could make you any food you want. I mean,
Yes.
I'm jealous of this. You sound like you had the perfect childhood. Any food you want, your dad can cook. Any outfit you want, your mum can make.
Yeah, well,
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I did have a really happy childhood. I grew up in the most loving home. I have three brothers, which I all love dearly. We never had a fight, and my family is really adventurous. So we used to go on these really long trips to anywhere in the world, and we just venture into nature. And so I've seen everything, and with this family that's so loving. So yeah, I'm really happy that I got to live in this environment. Yeah.
It's nice to hear that, because a lot of families these days are not as happy. Who's the funniest brother?
Definitely my biggest brother. His name is Jonathan. He's 22 years old, and he's just a comedian in the house. And I always try to like take little videos of him, because I just want him to see how funny he is. He's just, I don't know. I really hope he is gonna do something with it. But right now he's just our own private comedian. Yes.
Who's the cleverest brother?
Oof, my smallest brother. He is so smart. He's currently in his first year of high school and he is doing amazing. But if you talk to him, he's really quiet, but
Hmm.
everything he says, it's like you're talking to an oracle. Everything is so yeah, it's so true and it's just so funny because you never expect that from a 12-year-old boy. So people are always shocked with how smart he is. Yeah.
Who's the most annoying brother? You don't have to
Yeah,
answer.
my oldest brother.
Your oldest brother.
Well,
So the funny one
comedians,
is also the most annoying one.
yes, because sometimes he's funny when you don't want him to be. So that's when he gets annoying.
Okay, all right. Sounds like good fun. Sounds like a lovely family. Saartje, just before we get to the final 10 questions, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to or say thanks for supporting you along your journey?
I would actually like to give a shout out to Tessa because Tessa,
Mhm.
she's been helping me through this journey towards Miss Earth, and she has been Miss Earth last year. And that woman has so much love in her heart, and every time you talk to her, you just feel so empowered. And I'm just really happy to have her on my journey, and so I really want to thank her with this opportunity. Hi Tessa, I hope you're watching. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
And has she taken over? I was just looking before. Is it the presidency
Yes,
of
yes.
Miss? Right.
Yes, of Miss
Okay.
Beauty of the Netherlands, so also Miss Earth the Netherlands. She has taken over the company, I guess you could call it,
Yeah.
and she will
Yeah.
be organizing it from now on. And she's doing an amazing job.
Yeah. It's always good when your director is someone who's actually competed in pageants as well, because they know exactly what you're like, what the stress is like, what to do when things go wrong, who to talk to. And they're
Yeah.
there for when you just break down and start crying as well. So
Yes,
it's good for all those situations.
all the
All
behind the
right.
scenes.
Yeah, all that stuff that we don't see. Final 10 questions. Finish every interview with these. You don't need to answer them quickly, but if you want to, you can. So,
Okay.
question number 1. What is your favorite word?
Mm, sunshine? I think sunshine. Yes, because it just gives me so much joy and warmth. And if you even say the word, you feel like this warmth inside your heart. So I really tend to look towards the sun. So I think sunshine.
Question 2. What is your least favorite word?
Um, I'd say I always tend to look in colors. I immediately go to darker colors, but I'd say judgmental. I feel like there are so many layers to people, and for someone to just immediately say something about a person, that's so wrong. And I really hope for people to look at other people in a more open way and look through all those layers instead of saying, oh, you're like that and you're like that, because that's just such a waste of potential, I think.
Question 3. In life, what gets you excited or what turns you on?
Oh, what gets me excited? That's definitely working out an idea. I'm really creative and I love to make stuff. If it isn't sewing, it's painting, it's drawing, it's a look that I'm creating, or it's people that I'm helping creating something. So I think the keyword here is creating. I love creating and I love to be in that process. And once you get it started, you get this adrenaline like, oh, yes, we're going to do that. And we're going to put that in there. And it's just so much fun.
Question 4. What turns you off?
Oof. What turns me off would probably be uh, the, the opposite of enthusiasm.
Laziness?
Yes, I think so. Because if you're in that process of creating something, the last thing you want is for someone to not put everything in there or not really spark that have that spark. So if I don't have that spark, or if someone else doesn't have that spark, the whole process to me, it just turns me off.
Question 5. What sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of rain. I don't know if it's because I'm in the Netherlands, but it just calms me down, and rain smells amazing. I don't know if you've ever had put your attention to that, but it just smells amazing. And if I sleep with rain outside, I sleep amazing. So I love the sound of rain.
I do love the sound of rain and the smell of rain, but I used to do a lot of tennis coaching. So normally rain wasn't so good for my career. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
Moving on, what sound or noise do you hate?
Oof. I hate I think it's not necessarily hate, but I really don't like silence. I love to have music in the background or rain in the background. And if it's so quiet, I don't know, it's just kind of, I don't really like that. I like to have sounds around me. So
Okay.
silence.
Okay. All right. Question 7. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
Definitely flying. Like any superhero probably flies, but I love I love the idea to fly, and I don't know, look from everything from above, because we never really get to do that unless we're in an airplane, and then you don't even really see everything. But I'd love to be able to do that.
What job or occupation other than your own would you most like to attempt?
I think because I was a ballet dancer for quite a time, I think I would love to be in the shoes of a ballerina. If not, if I weren't in this path, but dancing would be so much fun to do.
Question 9. What job would you definitely not like to attempt?
Oh, what would I not like to attend? I think if I were in a position where I don't have to have a creative input, where I just say yes to whatever's asked. So not really a specific type of job, but if I do not have the opportunity to put my own mark on something, I wouldn't like to do that.
Yep. Final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
That's a beautiful question. If heaven exists, what I would like to hear God say, maybe that it's all gonna be okay for those that I left behind. Because I don't know, if you leave this world, you know that you're gonna leave a lot of people behind. So I really want to know that they're in good hands.
Beautiful. Well, Saartje, that's about it. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you. I had so much fun.
Me too. I learned a lot about Holland, the Netherlands today, including bikes and all your food. That sounds delicious, but just sounds like it's going to be very, very unhealthy. And best of luck for the remainder of the competition. I'll definitely be following you with interest.
Thank you.
I'll keep you on the line, as I said, just for a second, whilst I hang up with the audience. Thanks to everyone for watching, whether it's live or on the replay, and we'll speak to you next time. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Pageant Sorority Access opens up on Monday, the 1st of November. To get early access, head to thepageantsorority.com and enter your email address. Hope to see you there, and see you next time.